Dance Dance Involution. How are we all doing?
Yay, we're good.
Good.
Good. We're
Uh,
good.
Yeah, three of us are back in Asia.
Yes. Well, I'm in the US, so
Yeah, three of us.
yes.
so, calling from all over the world. So, get things started. It's kind of one for each of you. What was the spark that first pulled you into this industry?
Oh, well, I started young. When I was younger, I used to sort of do a lot of plays and like be in a lot of performances because my mom would just like put me in them even for like church. You'd get like
Hmm.
Sunday, no, not Sunday, Christmas performances, and I started like performing really, really young. And I also sort of have an uncle who also works in the industry. He like is a DP for the TV station, and he would like always be filming things, and he would tell me about actors and working on set and being a filmmaker and a storyteller, and that really, really sparked my interest. And then I think when I was 8, um, I filmed something in Canada, and I don't even remember what it's for, but I just remember the experience of it, and I was like, oh my God, this is so much fun. And sort of ever since then, I've never really stopped.
For me, it was also quite the same as Kathleen. I started really young when I was in kindergarten, like 4 years old. I was in the Hong Kong dance group. So I really enjoyed live performance. And even though I stopped dancing and went on for ice figure skating, and it was so different, but technically it's the same because it's a type of performance that brings me so much joy. And I really like, especially live performances and the rehearsal process, because it's just so much creativity in a room, even though it's in the process of creating something is just so much fun, and I loved it since I was really young.
Awesome.
I started kind of in order, but when Kathleen said she started in church, I also remember one of my first performances was like in church as a flower. I was just standing there singing. But a recent one would be in high school when my friend actually dragged me to the drama club in our school, and then I auditioned and I got in and I got a part, and then I just remember being on stage and like in rehearsals and feeling like, oh my God, I'm connecting with these people. It's so fun. I love it. Yeah, so that was it.
What about you, Eugene? Was this the plan when you started?
Um, as I started, I didn't quite know, right? But as a kid, I was kind of a music prodigy, so I started composing quite young, at
Awesome.
like 3, 4, and then at 9, I think Yamaha was where I was studying. Picked when I was 5, 4 or 5 or 6 or something, they chose me as one of the 4 kids to be in the special stream, and
Hmm.
then they would kind of give us extra resources. And then so when I was 9 or 10, Yamaha chose me to represent Hong Kong to play my own piece, originally in Taiwan, but they had an earthquake in 1999, telling you my age. And so in 2000, we went to Japan's. They have this resort that Yamaha owns, and we played for the high ups in Japan. So I started in music actually, strangely. And then as I moved on, I hated reading music. I played by ear for the most part and I like making things up. So I figured I would be in the arts, but I didn't want to turn my hobby into hell. So I
Effectively.
kind of went to directing school at NYU, and I'm a theater director and actor.
So it definitely sounds like everything's went to plan. Obviously, starting young and getting where
I
we want
would,
to be.
yeah, I'm still doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. So out of Dance Dance Involution, what other projects or passions are we diving into?
After this.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, so this is a very young company that I started, Deliberate Collision. We have three arms. So there's Deliberate Theatricals, which this production is part of. Also, this is kind of part of our mentoring next generation. So
All
this
right.
is between main stage and which are more, reconfiguration of classics or like
Mm.
complete new productions. But this is more devised landscape, working with the next generations. So this is a little cross between deliberate training and deliberate thinking, which is our new work incubation arm, as well as later on we may breach into your territories of podcasting and that kind of media related things. So next up, we're building the infrastructure for the company because it's a very young company. It's 1 year old. And we're very lucky that our activities from teaching and all those things, because that's my background. In the States, I was mainly a professor for actors for, I don't know, since 2015 or 16. So it's been a hot
Mm.
second. And then now I'm trying to build my own thing. And upcoming productions, we're chatting with a couple things, but I'm personally directing another opera next June. And then top of next year, I'm directing a cabaret with a singer in Hong Kong.
Awesome. Sounds like you're busy.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
we're also scheming the next projects for the company, but we can't announce
Yeah.
yet.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Everyone else, what are we working on next? Are we sticking with these projects?
Yeah,
Um,
Kathleen, we know where you are.
yeah, so right now I'm in New York because I go to university at NYU at Tisch, so I'm in acting school right now. I'm part of the Meisner Studio, third
All
year
right.
here. So starting third year, and we're diving right in. We've just started rehearsal for our upcoming classical show. We're doing Measure for Measure by Shakespeare. And oddly enough, it's another sort of devised thing right now. It's really, really
Oh,
fun. Yeah,
weird.
yeah. I'm working with director Malika Samuel, who also teaches us. She was my first year acting teacher alongside the other teacher, Nate Flower. And she's really amazing. I love her, love working with her. And she's sort of taking this like very like old play, Measure for Measure, not very often done, and really making it and devising it into something that's super new. I heard about her concept and I was just super excited immediately because I think sometimes this play gets a little tricky to work with, and oftentimes either goes really far in the pendulum. Either it's super conservative or super not. But I think this very new lens we're putting on it and putting in some modern references really is getting me super excited about it. We're I'm actually having rehearsals after this at 10 a.m. So I'll see
Cool.
how today goes. But almost first week done of rehearsals, working at the table right now, but super, super exciting. And we'll be performing in October.
Yeah, definitely sounds exciting.
Cool. Wow, so soon. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
We would
It's such a
love.
weird play. I went to a production where we had to walk through a brothel that they set in the dressing room, and we come up on the stage
Yes.
and then walk into the house.
Yeah. I think that is quite a similar concept. I will not say too much because I don't know if Malika
Cool.
wants to discuss too
Cool.
much, but it's quite a similar concept there where it's quite an immersive experience and almost like Kit Kat Club Eve, like from the cabaret
Mhm.
sort of kind of thing. And yeah, it's just super exciting and yeah, so many things coming up soon.
Ash, Dorothy, what are you working on?
For now, I'm
There's a
resting a
jet lag happening here.
yeah, for now, like I'm just resting a bit, and
Hmm.
then afterwards, probably hop into some castings and hopefully some productions that are mostly Hong Kong based, I think.
Dorothy, what about you?
Working alongside with Eugene
Hmm?
to with more focusing on like the producing side of things to yeah for future projects and stuff like that. So I'm like shifting gears a little bit.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. And
obviously,
Eugene is crazy. So there's a giant list of projects to be tackled, one after another. But you will hear about it very, very soon.
so
Yeah.
Yeah.
obviously the
And of
Fringe.
course we're we're also looking at bringing Dance Dance Involution back to Hong Kong as well.
All right.
Hopefully, when Kathleen is free and back in Hong Kong. So we're also aligning, those kinds of things as we also build new projects.
No, it's very exciting and very busy. Um,
Yeah.
Obviously, the Fringe brings people from all over the world. This is the perfect example. So after the Fringe, still resting and obviously some getting back straight into work. What did you do? Did you travel, get straight back into it? What was your plans after the Fringe?
I'll start. I had a very, very rejuvenating and artistically inspiring trip. I reconnected with so many friends.
Hmm?
It's crazy. I went to London and then I spent some time in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam and Leiden. And then I was also in Germany for a festival in the middle of Germany in the Ruhr area, as well as Berlin. Yeah, I got to see a very brilliant production of Tosca at the Dutch National Opera with Barry Kosky. I got to meet him, my opera hero, because I'm beginning opera directing is kind of my new major interest at the moment, besides building this company. Because you got to keep growing as an
Yeah.
artist, otherwise you get stale. And so yeah, it was kind of this amazing trip, and then I reconnected with so many people. I have like maybe 10, 12, 15 friends with shows in London now, Americans, which is very shocking. It was like a giant reunion that I didn't expect. And I had heart to hearts with, one of my big bros from NYU, who is kind of getting famous right now. So it's like very crazy to reconnect. We got matcha every day, 3 days in a row.
Yeah, sounds like a busy break after the Fringe.
Yeah, and then I just got back, I think 2, 3 days ago,
All right.
4 days, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I after the Fringe, I went to London as well, did a short trip, stayed with my cousin who I haven't seen in a really long time, so I was very happy to, reconnect with her. And yeah, like we went to see some theater and like sort of explored the city. For me, it's like a really short trip. It's like 4 days because I had to rush back to New York to start the school year. As the school year starts, I'm still dorming, so I have to like move in and everything. But pretty much once it started, I was like casting on the first day and it just went on. And yeah, for my trip to London, it was really fun. I saw a lot of really good stuff. I saw Evita, directed
Mhm.
by Jamie Lloyd. That was really, really good. And I have some friends right now in school with me who also saw it and we connected over that. And yeah, it was like a really short but sweet little trip.
Dorothy and I, we had the same journey. Like we went to London and we hang out with her godparents, and afterwards we went to Czech. We went to a city called Brno, and we catch up with a friend there. And then we went to Prague, and afterwards we went cat sitting and back in Oxford. So it was quite funny. So we went all the way to London, and then out of London, and then back to Oxford, and then we took care of two really cute cats, and it was like a really great trip. But then I also realized that I'm really allergic to the dense water in the south of England.
Hmm.
Oh
Super allergic.
no.
I have no
What would
idea.
happen? What would happen?
Because I was drinking the tap water, like I drink a lot of water, and my whole neck got swollen.
Oh
My
no.
teeth got swollen, and my skin was
Teeth?
so itchy and it was like swollen. So everything was swollen. And I searched online and I asked ChatGPT, and ChatGPT said it's probably the water. I was like, oh damn, it's the
Oh.
water.
Yeah,
Then
No
I just
wonder they don't talk about Bruno.
when you're in England, you're told not to drink the tap water because it's not cleaned properly. Well, not that it's cleaned properly. It's got limescale and salt in it, so you're not meant to drink tap water in England.
oh no, it's
Now you
definitely
know.
I thought it was
Scotland.
drinkable. I thought it was drinkable and I drank so much.
Same.
No, especially in London. Yeah, you it's straight out the Thames, so you don't drink tap water there.
Oh,
Yeah. So
now I
next
Oh,
need
time, just
now we know.
yeah,
Okay,
bottled water.
I'm glad
At
I'm
least I
still
still see hair on you. You're doing okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad I boiled my water. I'm a
Yes.
little like bit of a freak when it comes to that because I get really nervous. Even in like America, New York is known to have like one of the best tap waters. I still like gotta
Mhm.
Brita filter it. I get nervous around
Yeah.
that.
I also boil water. We're
Yeah.
Asians. We're well
Yeah.
trained.
Boil or like filter, like I just need to
Yeah.
process the water somehow.
So
Now I
sorry, go for it. So when you're not performing, what is something that you kind of geek out about? What's something that takes you away from performing itself?
Oh,
I'm a
I'll
super foodie. So I loved going around checking out places I hadn't eaten at.
Mhm.
I have a very good radar for that. Even when people are locals of a place I was visiting, like the list I listed, before, they would actually defer to me to pick food
All
places.
right.
And I had some pretty good meals all over. And lately it's, in Hong Kong, back to my old list.
Awesome. Do you like cooking? Or is,
Yeah, but I hate doing dishes. So I would
yeah.
invite friends over and I would like make them free dinners and then they would do the dishes. But I'm about to move into my new apartment next month or a month and a half. And then I finally got my mini dishwasher.
I think we all hate dishes. So
Yeah, come eat Ash and Door.
definitely will be there.
What
uh,
about you three?
for me, I aside from acting, I oh, this might still be acting related, but I go to the theater a lot and I
mhm,
watch like a lot of films, but okay, well, let me come up with something that's not performance based. I really love reading.
mhm,
Like I really love reading. I wish I have time for more because there's so many books that I have like a full list on my phone. But I am big rereader, so I'll be like so super obsessed with like a few books and I'll like sort of reread them over like the next couple of years and just read them over and over again. Um I just finished my favorite book, which is A Little Life by Hanya Gihara. It's also a play that was adapted into a play by Ivo van Hove in Amsterdam, I believe, and it's also just one of the best things I've seen. And yeah, I really love reading. I think to me, it just sort of takes me out of like my like life right now, I
mhm.
guess because it's always so busy and there's so much going on. And yeah, like reading a book just helps me like escape a little and yeah.
Speaking about books, I'm also a very big reader. I realize we're all very big readers. But when we step foot into Blackwell in England, in London, no, in Oxford, I was to Ashley, I was like, how are the books so cheap here? Like, it's literally less than a meal. And then before that, like prior to stepping foot in the bookstore, I was like, you know what? Let's not get too much stuff. We don't have luggage space. And then the moment we walked in, I was like, you know what? We have luggage space. So I got like six books.
Amazing.
Yeah,
And I
and I
also
stepped
bought
in.
all of books that were really expensive to buy in Hong Kong. I basically just bought the books that I like, that I read in the library, because I'm a huge library goer, because I lived right next to the library when I was young. So I just buy the books that were too expensive to buy in Hong Kong. It was so funny because Dorothy was like, "Oh, why are you just getting the classics?" Because I'm like, because I haven't bought them. I just read them in the library.
Yeah,
But this,
basically we're just nerds.
Yeah.
yeah.
Theater kids, what do you expect?
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Um,
when we cat sitting, I also forced, like for me, I love watching really original, like funny YouTube videos that were short videos, like meme videos. And I forced Dorothy to watch meme videos for like 2 hours just to make
oh
sure
no.
that she knows all of the really important memes.
I'm glad you've got your priorities right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you do to press the reset button? Say coming off stage or before you go into an audition, what do you do to center yourself?
I think
For me, sorry.
it's okay,
I
you can go.
it's really simple. Is just to get up really early. If I have something to do, even in the morning, in the afternoon, I'll be up really early
Mhm.
and drink a huge lot of water. By like huge lot means like 3 liters, 4 liters of water, and make sure that I'm super hydrated. So my body, when I'm anxious, I would be really dry. Like everyone loses their saliva, like they get really dry in their neck when they're nervous. So if I drink a lot of water in the morning, my body just kind of soaks up all of the water, and I think it resets my whole system. Yeah. And water with a little bit of salt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I think for me, similarly, I also like have to wake up really early to sort of like get into the headspace of performing. I like would warm up like I would warm up, and there's like sort of like a specific like routine of warming up that I do that I find to be very effective, and sort of gotten the habit to doing, I guess, because right now I am like very actively in acting
Mhm.
school. We have like acting like what like almost every day, and so to me that just sort of became like part of my day where I have to warm up either mentally or physically or both most of the time to sort of get myself into the right headspace and right like state to be ready to perform and like really be open. I mean, for us when we were doing Dance Dance, we would like wake up and we do a vocal warm up together in my room, and then we'd do a little clown game, and then we would do like little rehearsal, and doing like ensemble stuff really helped us build a connection especially when doing Dance Dance Involution, I feel.
Yeah. Also, the show's so dense, right? They would do an Italian run, meaning they just really quickly go through every single word and throwing it at each other. Because it's just, a very risky thing to do like at noon because it's so
Mm.
early, to go through that many words, unrehearsed that day. Yeah, what
For
about the
me,
two of you?
oh, for me personally, when I go auditions and stuff, I went to this in summer intensive with Eugene in Canada for a bit, and from there I learned like the Fitzmaurice breath work technique, and then it's basically you do like a lot of shakes and tremors. And I basically do like I section a bit of that and then I do it in my room. So my mom and my dad always like if I just go like and then my mom and my dad like always knocks and come like, all right, are you okay? And then I just go, I'm just warming up. So yeah, it's a bit like a bit
Yeah,
weird,
just a
but it's
seizure.
It's just
yeah, it's just Caesar. But then it really does like help with uh like my mind as well because I kind of like shake everything out and just like be grounded and relaxed. Yeah.
I think I also like in first year we also did a similar thing to Dorothy in school for voice and speech actually. And it's always so funny because someone either like late or went to the bathroom, or just someone would come into the room, and then there's like 20 people on the ground just like shaking. It's like always so funny to me. And they would like come in and sort of take a look and be like, oh, never mind, and close the door and go back out. Yeah.
Going back to your roots, I suppose, can you link it back to, say, one person or one moment that kind of shaped you into who you want to be today in performing or directing?
I have many, many heroes, but
Mhm.
in terms of a more macro inspiration and career, actually, I would credit my sophomore directing teacher, Rachel Chafkin, who also directed Hades Town, which you may have heard of, or The Great Comet of 1812. Because she is secretly also a hardcore deviser and like she's so smart and she does these very dense devised works. She actually didn't begin her major directing career in the States because nothing much was happening for her. And then she started bringing shows actually to Edinburgh Fringe with her theater company called The Team, The Emerging American Moment, with a couple shows that all got the Fringe firsts, which is why I even have that on my map at all, right? Because being trained in America, growing in Hong Kong, the Edinburgh Fringe we've roughly heard of, but like no real conception of. But then she was the person who told me about the Traverse Theatre, being a
Mhm.
landmark in Edinburgh. And yeah, it's just a great career model where she doesn't just get commercial success and then just chase where only the money is. She also has her company still making space for other artists with interesting voices and also unconventional methods of building a show that's not only text led. So yeah, she's a major hero of mine. She was also teaching me when she was 30. So I have exceeded that benchmark already, but I was also teaching at that age. So yeah,
Awesome.
that's the answer today. I have like 10 more.
For me, if I have to trace back to the very beginning why I got the spark for performing, it has to be my grandmother because she was a performer herself. She was a dancing teacher. She taught dancing and a little bit of performing, especially for people of her age. So people that were older, she taught people that were older to dance. And when I was really young, she was also the person who threw me into dancing and throw me into just some interactive course. And she's always really supportive, even though she has dementia now, whenever she listens to music, her body moves like a little bit, just like it's like it reminds her of something. And I just think it's so beautiful. So it has to be her that brought me into this, and I see how happy she is performing. And that's why I also could channel the spark as a kid, I think. That was really important to me growing up.
And that's the magic of the arts, right? It reminds me of those videos on YouTube of these like 100-year-old pianists who also have dementia. But then once you put them on the piano, it's like nothing, no time ever passed. It's
Mhm.
really beautiful.
Yeah, really.
I think for me, looking back, I don't think there's like specifically like one person that really sparked this or shaped this for me, but it's sort of more like an accumulative like experience of the theater and of performance I have growing up. Growing up, my mom and my family, they're also theater goers. My sister is a huge theater goer, even though she like doesn't perform at all, but she would go to almost everything. Most things in Hong Kong like that are put up, she would like buy a ticket to go. And so growing up, I've always like gone with them and have seen performances with them. And even in school, like when I see it's super unrelated to acting, I'd see like singers like go up on stage and sing. And, I like would always sit in like my seat and be like, God, I wish I'm like that. And I've always just sort of craved that performance aspect of life. And yeah, and I think just by seeing so much and going to the theater so often, it just naturally sparked an interest in me to pursue that eventually.
I think in contrast, I wasn't exposed to a lot of theater when I was younger, but I was exposed to a lot of play, which is also the basis of like acting because I have a younger sister and we were each other's entertainment. So we were just at home throwing ourselves into situations and just like basically believing that I'm a princess and she's obviously my dog every time. And um yeah, and then we just like in that second we just believed that I was a princess and she was my dog and every other scenarios that we've done. And I think it's just sparked like a lot of joy in me. We like even played that till like very old. So not very old, like 10, 12. So yeah, I think that was like the very basis of it.
So Hong Kong itself has a very distinct creative energy. How would you say that this has shaped you?
Interesting. Because in terms of creative fields, it's very interesting. First of all, while it's a very international city, the Cantonese performance scene is very segregated with the international performance scene. International, like with the Western expat and also like more mainland influenced sectors, they're all completely almost not mixing. Like the traditional Chinese opera arts and things like that. So it's a very interesting space because everything you can get many, many influences, but at the same time, when you're in a box, it's very hard to be cross-influenced.
Mhm.
But outside of the arts, I think the influence is much more rich uh, because people are very adaptive. Things move very fast, and so many different influences. You know, you talk to people from many different backgrounds every single day. That you learn to be really fast as an adapter, and that is amazing. I think for people working in the live arts because we really listen to the context of what we're doing
Mm.
and adapt very fast.
I often sort of think in reference to older um, films that has come out from Hong Kong, especially the classics like coming out from like Wong Kar-wai, right? And I've actually seen multiple interviews of him where he actually talks about when he makes films, he doesn't really have a script, and pretty much it's all like sort of has a through line of each character, and he sort of lets the actors improvise and or even like would just pass by something and be like, oh, this could be a great shot, and he would like film it and steal a lot of these like moments from life. And when I think about creation in Hong Kong, that often reminds me of that, where Hong Kong is such like a it is such a diverse city, and there's so many things in the city itself that is so inspiring and so unique to us, where it's like where I see something, it can immediately like inspire me to a bigger idea. And I think even with our show, like it's heavily devised and taking inspiration from life itself. And so yeah, like I think a lot about that when I approach sort of the Hong Kong creative scene. And um yeah, we're I think I think a lot of creatives in Hong Kong do devise, I think, and just take inspiration from what's thrown at them.
Ash,
I
go ahead.
think Yeah, I think Eugene and Kathleen can probably distinguish the difference much better than I do because I was born and raised in the system of Hong Kong, and the French is the first experience I have outside of Hong Kong. But I would say art in Hong Kong is, I mean, I love the arts in Hong Kong. It's so, I don't know if it's right to describe it this way, but I would say it's quite immediate. If I want to feel something in a certain way, I would watch this show. If I want to feel in an other way, if I want to feel sad, I would watch this show. If I want to feel happy, I would watch this show. But with watching shows like from this perspective in Europe, I didn't watch a lot of shows, but I tried my best to at least watch maybe 2 to 3 shows with our team when we were in Edinburgh and when we were in the UK. So it was quite intense. But then we couldn't really expect anything when we walk into a theater, probably also because of the context that
Mm.
we were just there and we want to try to experience as much as we can. But I would say it's very different because I myself, I'm also very result oriented. I guess that's how we're trained in Hong Kong. Also, it's what our show's about.
Mm.
I'm very result oriented, so I'm very used to, I want to feel a certain way. So I'm going to watch this movie. I want to learn something. I want to know what it's about. That's why I'm watching this. That's why I'm trying to recreate this. But then it's going to Europe is giving me like gave me a different perspective in no matter watching shows or approaching arts. Because I personally am a big fan of mainstream stuff. I like things that everyone likes. And I also try to see it from a different perspective, and it's like really really cool that I get to experience this summer.
Yeah. But I think you also described this very consumerist culture in Hong Kong, right? So you know exactly what product you're keying into. But at the same time, as an artist, it's harder for that to encapsulate multiple dimensions or surprises that much. But then if I want sentimentality and go in and cry because someone's daughter like died in the play and then the mother's alone and eating and then like you want to cry with them, you just need a good cry. Like you can pick that play or musical and then go and sit there. But at the same time, it's rare that it's more dimensional in the way, that of what
Yeah.
you described, going. So it's very interesting too in that
Yeah,
way.
and I like it both ways. It's different and
Yeah,
yet
yeah,
it's really good.
I think it's because people here like predictability. They like something that's safer so that they don't feel like going in and then oh something else happens and they're like, oh, what's happening? Or they don't like being surprised. Whereas I think in Edinburgh, the shows that we saw, it was like going in, like you really don't know what's going to happen with something, or you expect like maybe for night night that we saw, like you expect it's a clown show, but you're still surprised with what's happened. But with shows here, it's more yeah, it's more predictable. You know you're gonna go in, you're gonna cry at act two, and you're gonna cry again at the end. So it's I guess it's more structured in a way. It's more tailored to the audience. So yeah, it's more result oriented. It's more tailored, so people know what they're gonna get. But yeah, same as Ashley, I'm not that familiar with the West as well as Eugene and Kathleen because I was based here basically my whole life. So yeah.
And also one more thing about like especially the French, I love the rawness of street performances. Like I was quite astonished how often I was crying on the street and when I'm watching performances, it just hits me like what the hell? Like it's so raw and it's so genuine, it's so sweet, is everything at the same time is so complicated. And there was like a video of I accidentally took this video of a kid. The baby was crawling to a guitar performer on the street and I was just bawling my eyes out. I thought like this is so raw. This is like as babies, like it's like the video that Eugene showed us of a bunch of orchestra play like music. I I
Is it
forgot
the
the word.
animal one? Like the
Yeah,
cows
animal,
going to listen
like
to
someone's
music?
playing music to the cows, and the cows just
Yeah.
went to the jazz players, and it was so good, and it was basically the same, but I saw it in real life, and it was like I loved it.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It was this guitar lady player. She was so good. And like I was also crying with Ashley on the streets because you just feel like the fringe magic with her. It
Hmm.
was just so amazing.
Yeah, it was not just her. It was also with the performers that were on the street that no one was watching, but then they were trying so hard to be in their zone, even though they
Mm.
got distracted by people walking by and they're trying to get back into their zone. This commitment, it captures so much emotions and also the vibes and everything. That just makes me want to stand there and give them some support.
Yeah, definitely in Western culture, we like to try and put as much in as we can. So, for instance, a movie or a play, it's not just going to be comedy. You're going to have comedy, tragedy, a love story. It can't just be, as you said, predictable. We like the jarring feeling. But definitely the fringe itself is like times 10 once you're in it and you've got the magic and how raw it is and everyone's there. So you've definitely got the best experience of culture outside. The fringe is the biggest in the world for it.
yeah.
So say this is the first step, day one type of thing. Obviously, we've got college, starting the business in early days. What's the dream? Where, not necessarily the end goal, but where will it be when we decide we've made it? What does that look like?
I'm gonna start. I think in college, I'm just like in 10 years, I'm still gonna be doing this,
Hmm.
and I want to travel the world while doing it. And I guess I made it, but it doesn't feel that way. But I'm literally exclusive. I have only worked in the performing arts, teaching, directing, acting. Yeah, so I count myself lucky. But does it feel like the dream is there? Like not quite. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, but in retrospect, it's like, damn, like 15 years ago, this is the fantasy, and I'm still doing it,
So if
and I
you,
get to pass it on in my
yeah.
teachings.
So what would it be that moment where from now, where would you say you feel like you would have made it? Is there a certain show you want to do, a place you want to put the show?
Um, I used to chase larger productions as a
Mhm.
director, right? Because you'd think like the bigger budget, oh my God, my vision. Actually, there are more traps because the
Mm.
producers are more cautious and they give you more requirements almost in those situations. So now I'm actually, as we see, I'm building this new entity called Deliberate Collision because I'm more interested in building the next wave of folks to rise up with me
Mhm.
for this next phase, and also work on smaller handmade things that are original. Because there's actually a larger sense of ownership versus just for hire, but for large scale things. Because I actually brought a show to the Rose Theater 2.5 years ago, 2 years ago. Um, that actually Prince Edward attended.
Mhm.
I got to drink with him. It was crazy. Um, but then it's like a kid show, like I was for hire. It was an amazing accomplishment, but at the same time, it doesn't quite say, this is a deliberate show or this is, what I want to say in the world. So the next step is actually a little more personal versus chasing the scale for me. And we're in the throes of building that. Hello,
Awesome.
Dorothy.
I think I think for me, like I don't think there'll be like a I made it moment.
Mhm.
I just don't believe in that because um like it's like what Eugene said, right? Five, not even five, like three or 4 years ago, being so young. I mean, I literally just turned 20, so my life wasn't very long. Um, like my dream was like going to NYU because that's where all the great actors, directors went to. That's where people tell you you go and you'll like quote unquote make it. And it was a dream for me to come here to attend this school to learn because there's so many amazing teachers, amazing artists. You're surrounded by it and being in New York, right? That was like the dream just a couple of years ago, not very far away. And to me, like, right, the life that I'm living now, being in acting school, living in New York City, going to NYU, I mean, doing a show at the Fringe, that's the dream.
Hmm.
And I think if I told, right, myself that just me a couple years ago that I would have been like, oh my God, I've made it by the age of 20. And that's just simply not true because I think the the pursuit of making it and to land there, you're always just gonna push it even further. Like I can be doing a Broadway show and be like, oh, I still feel like I haven't made it because I haven't worked with this director yet.
Hmm.
There's just no way of pinpointing that for me, I think. Like to be an artist is to constantly be chasing the dream. And if the dream is achievable, it's never I don't think I'll ever grow as much as an artist. And I mean, recently in a theater studies class, or oh, it was first like sort of welcome day for the school year. I think one of our teachers said something really great. I think it was an Oscar Wilde quote. Yeah, my clown teacher, Chris Tramatana, said this. He said, yes. He said there's only two tragedies in life. One is getting what you want. And second, oh, actually, the first is getting what you can't get what you want. And the second is getting what you want. And so I think about that a lot. He says that quite a bit. And yeah, I just don't think there will be a point in my life where I'm like, I've made it. I hope I never feel that way either. I want to always be chasing something, always be working for something, even if I'm the biggest star in the world at that point, then the dream for me would to always be better. That is very important to me to have that hope and that dream in me.
And I giggled because her teacher is my friend.
Yeah, he's great.
For me, my I made it moment, at least for now, would be to quit my day job and just to do performance and to be able to support my family with performing. That would be my I made it moment
Mm.
because then afterwards it's just changing of mindset, like what Kathleen said, really important, constantly learning, constantly challenging yourself. But then my I made it moment would be telling my parents, you don't have to struggle anymore. I got you covered.
I think that's very similar for me, with both Ashley and Kathleen. Like my I have made it moment would probably be supporting myself and my family with just the arts and not having to do another side gig, side job like that. And probably buy a cottage and vacation house in the middle of nowhere so I can just go there when I need a bit of rest and then come back out and then do a bigger project.
Oh yeah, and also be able to choose, like not really choose, but to pick what you would like to do. Because most of the time, as young actors, we don't get to pick what we want to do. Whatever comes to us, we would do it definitely 100%. So when there is a point that I can pick, oh, I relate to this character, I'm going to challenge myself with this character. That would be one of my benchmarks of okay, maybe like I can sustain myself from now on.
Awesome. So obviously the Fringe show, it comes and it goes. But what would be your personal stamp you hope to leave? Um, we're after the fact you finish the show. So what do you hope people leave with after your performance solely? Not about the show, about your performance.
I can't
Uh,
say it's like completely personal because most of our show has three of us and our chemistry is really important, especially the first 15 minutes sets the tone of our show. And we would basically know if this would be a good show or not after the first 15 minutes. So I think what I want the audience to understand
Hmm.
is um, they have a piece of themselves in our show, no matter is the relationship, is the sentiment, is the environment, whatever they can get from the show, I hope they can relate at least a part of it. The whole thing, but at least a part of it. And I really hope that the audience can feel our love for performance, like the three of us,
Hmm.
and our energy and our chemistry. I think the show is really fun, and I really hope that they can see that we're having fun and they're having fun at the same time.
Yeah, I agree so much with that. I think it's hard to say, like, for me personally, just because the show is it's so heavily based on how three of us interact, and just like it's like the three of us that's in the show, and we're so interlinked to each other in the show, and it's a little hard to say about how I want people to feel about me personally. But I do know that, like, because three of us come from quite different backgrounds, actually, even though we're connected by growing up in Hong Kong, sure, but we have very different backgrounds, we have different experiences, different perspectives on life. I mean, we're also different ages. I mean, I'm younger. And so I think when people sort of see the show, especially in the end, we also kind of talk a little bit about ourselves. It's easy for them to relate to at least a part of it or one of us and find themselves in us and see us sort of go through the show together and find that they resonate with what we're saying, because I think we also speak to a larger culture of um, this pressure to hustle, this pressure to succeed, this pressure to compete in this world where, I mean, humans are getting replaced, in this world where jobs are kind of becoming scarce, right? And we're speaking to a bigger culture there, of this sort of phenomenon that's happening in the world. So I hope that when people had come seeing the show, I really hope that they saw in us a part of who they are and a part of their struggle and a part of what they want to say, that is somehow that we've said it for them, and really see that and be like, yeah, like that is how I feel, and that means so much to me.
I hope, yeah, and again, I don't think it's my impact or my personal impact. I think it's the whole show and it's like the three of us. I think, and I hope like after watching the show, it like softens their minds towards Generation Z or even the generation below them, below us, and to give a little bit more understanding towards the newer generations, just because times are changing so quickly and everything is so, it feels so out of control. And I do hope that um like a little bit more empathy is needed and a little bit more understanding and open-mindedness. Yeah.
So, in that instance, let's throw the question a bit wider. From your performance style, from what you want out of performing, what would you want your message to be? Like if you had hung up the boots and it was this is what you were known for, what would you want your message to be in performing?
I want people to feel alive when they attend a performance of mine, whatever that means. They feel like, oh my God, I'm human. Oh my God.
Yeah, so you want the raw feel and the passion. You want people to feel in it.
Yeah. And a sudden realization that, oh my God, this is what being human feels like.
Hmm.
Because we often forget that we're human.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would want my audience to experience with me instead of seeing me from like an outer angle. I want them to be the same perspective as me, like as a performer. And um, I want them to, I hope that they can not think when they're watching, but then they think about it afterwards. Like I hope that this can like my performance can be something that they would think about when they look at something, when something triggers them, they would think, oh, I remember something, but I don't really remember where did I got this feeling from. And because I often have this from a lot of really impactful performances and movie experiences, theater experiences that I have. And I hope that I can create the same experience for audiences that watched my performance.
So you want
To
your
be a
art
theater
to be
ghost, haunting people.
Yeah.
so you want your art to be lived instead of watched.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think for me, the show is so like, oh, just do it. I think that might be my message, is like to just do it, because like the show, we jump around a lot. I think one of the biggest like sort of feedback we got from audience is that like, oh, it jumps from one section to another. Even through like rehearsing, a lot of the times you can't really think too much about it. You just have to like be in the moment and like just do it like that. And I think, yeah, I think when people see it, I want them to feel that way about themselves, where it's like, just have that determination and confidence to just do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think my answer would be very similar to Eugene because he's my teacher. So I agree with a lot of stuff that he says about like the humanness because we often do forget about being human, especially a lot of theater goers aren't like in the art scene, which is of course, and sometimes like in their day-to-day life they forget that they're humans, they have feelings, they can like let it out as well. And through theater, like I think that's very important. And maybe for me personally, I would just sprinkle in a little bit of feminism in it. So yeah.
So I've got two more questions for you. Um, what would be, it could be any piece of art. So it could be a book, it could be a movie, a play, a musical, a song, an album. If you could direct someone to one piece of work and say this is the one thing that you must immerse yourself into, what would it be? It could be your own work, it could be someone else's, but what would be your one recommendation for people to immerse themselves into?
Mm.
This is so hard.
Okay, I have one. I have one. I talk about this a lot. It's just like one of my favorite plays. It's like A Little Life Again. I've seen it when I read the book when I was like younger, and I just like fell in love with it. I know it's controversial, but it's the world building, the writing, the characters are real people to me, and I reread it a lot. It's such an experience, and seeing it come onto the stage, and watching it be put on the stage, and you know, come to life, that was just something so magical for me. And also just the actors were so good, so transformative. And it's also I believe it was done sort of in there's like three sides, either in the round or there's like three sides to it. So audience feel very much part of the world that they've built. And to me, that is just like, I remember seeing that and was like, that is like theater to me. Like that level of emotional connection, that level of storytelling is just it's what I've like ever dreamed of experiencing as an audience, and also like hopefully be able to do that as an actor. It's just my one recommendation, and I always talk about it.
I actually think of, but you have to time travel with me for that to happen. Robert Wilson, who just passed this year, he directed a production with the Berliner Ensemble, so they know Brecht in their blood. So it's the first time I understood what Bertolt Brecht's alienation was on stage. And then it was the first day of Occupy Wall Street when I saw it, and it's that Robert Wilson's style is very visually abstracted, right? Everyone looks like a doll in thick makeup and doing crazy gestures on stage, singing this amazing, not pretty music by Kurt Weill. But it's the first day of Occupy Wall Street, and all these people of a certain class just left by droves during the first number. But the play is also not very directly pointed at that, but you just feel it in the air. And also these actors embody, they're commenting, but at the same time they're just embodying, they're not acting. All of those kind of just came together in the universe, but it had to be that day. Like I'm
Mm.
sure the performance the day after, or the last run when they were in Berlin, I don't think it would have been the same performance. So when everything comes together, right? When something happens that's larger than the performance or the piece of work itself, it's like when the whole universe is like in sync, something very special happens and the time warp begins. And I would point at that one moment that gives me chills actually.
Awesome. It sounds great.
Yeah, not to worship any person, right? It's I think it's a larger
Mm.
event when that happens.
Um, for me, I think I don't have a certain piece of work or certain piece of like music that I
Mhm.
think like, oh my God, you have to see this. But I do think watching Rachel Zegler and Evita, I think she's just the essence of like a performer because like she may not be the most crafted person or skilled person, but when she opens her mouth and she sings, like you're just so impacted by her love for performing that like she just sparkles. And I think it's just very, very magical to just watch her sing. It's amazing.
I think for me, as just a like a book lover,
Mhm.
I would love to watch a play. I would love to watch the play by it's called Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf or Bliss by Virginia Woolf. I would love to watch that. Like I haven't really watched that, but I read all of her books and these two are my favorite. Like um it's very complex, it's very intricate, and all of the characters they're so deep but like so deep so it's like interesting to read and I would love to see like I think they're both adapted as screenplays but I've never got the chance to watch it so these two would be on the top of my list if I would ever go to a place that have their show out. Yeah.
Don't
Awesome.
watch it. Let's make it.
Yeah. I'll definitely check all those out. I've made a list. Um, so just like the Fringe, everyone I interview passes on an anonymous message to the next. My last said, watch the tribe that you hang out with because the people around you make a difference to where you end up. So what would you, obviously, the perfect example here, the right group of people have made an amazing Fringe show. So what would you like to pass on to the next?
Don't forget to play as you hustle at a place, especially like the Fringe.
Hmm.
Go see things. Go take a hike. Go eat at a nice restaurant. Go meet fun friends without thinking of networking or whatever. You'll get way more out of it.
I really like that.
Don't think too much and don't avoid conflict.
I'm gonna say keep going. I know like it's very often said to artists and actors, but it's so true. They're like literally just a couple months ago, I was in school like last semester where I was so nervous about my career, about like my choice of becoming an artist. And then just a month later, quite literally, I got this job. So I think just keep going. It's yeah, that's really important to me. And I still need to hear it for myself too.
Keep going, Kathleen.
Yes. Oh, so tired.
Darth.
I think for me, probably it might seem like everything and everyone's a competition, but it's the friends you make along the way that makes the festival. I think I think it's so nice. Like we have our neighbors, we met our neighbors, and they were all like amazing people. And there are people from other shows that are so supportive. And even if you don't go see each other's shows, it's fine. Like talking to everyone, just talk to everyone. They're not competition, just talk to everyone.
Yeah, I made a lot of friends.
Your
Yeah.
advice is talk to strangers. Mom.
I hope everyone has a great time in their endeavors, and I can't wait to catch up with everything that you're doing.
Yeah.
A lot of busy
I
things
Yay.
hope we
happening.
have more interviews about the next show at some point.
Yes, I can't wait.
Let's see.
Hope you have a good day.
Kyle, Kyle, what's one piece of advice that you would give? We talked a lot. Maybe you can share a little bit before we end.
Yeah.
Um, one piece of advice I would give. God, I've never been asked this, but I've asked everyone else this. Kind of similar to the don't forget to play when you hustle and the keep going and don't avoid conflict. It is just do it. Um, so often, a lot of people avoid it, put it off. But if by chance you didn't go to NYU and you went somewhere else because you thought I would never get into NYU, that's the place everyone goes to, you wouldn't be where you are. So it would definitely be to do it because worst case, you get a lesson. And best case, it's a memory.
And in some cases, you get into a big debt.
Yeah, in some
If it's
cases you end up in it.
NYU. JK.
But no, thank you so much for this. I can't wait to hear
Thank you.
everything you do.
Thank you, Kyle.
Thanks.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Kyle. Thanks.